Who's your greatest influence? You won't want to miss this next segment on generational wealth, the next generation for people of color. Stay tuned. Well, today I'm so glad you're here. We're here with Darry Harris and his mom, Darlyn C Turner.
Pleasure
How
to be
are
here.
you all?
Pleasure to be here.
So let's get right into it. Who are you? Who are you? And what do you do? You know, most people can say what they do, but they rarely tell us who they are. So tell us, who are you? We'll start with Mom.
You want to start with me?
Yeah, we'll start with Mom, and then we will take it up with Mr. Harris.
Yep.
Can't wait to hear from you. Go ahead.
Okay, well,
Mom?
I'm Darlyn C Turner. I'm
Yes.
a mom. I'm a minister. I'm an entrepreneur, mainly focusing right now on public service with several nonprofit organizations.
Okay, great. And you are?
My name is Darry Harris. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the co-owner of Klassique Auto Sales. I also have another company, R Motors, where we assist with vehicle repairs. So, and I'm also very active in my church. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so we're here talking about generational wealth, the next generation, especially for people of color. So you are, can I give your age?
Yes.
You're under 30, we'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are a car dealership co-owner?
Yes.
How did that even come about? That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, all the honor goes to God first, but my parents are the main reason why I'm at where I'm at in life now. I always tell people I never had to look past the kitchen table for my role models, so that's always been a blessing. Just watching them work in their grace and in their environment my whole life really molded me into the person I am today.
Fantastic. Tell me more.
We've been active. My company, Klassique Auto Sales, has been active for about 6 years now. And prior to that, I had experience in the restaurant business. So I've been kind of everywhere, So it's definitely challenging at times, but it's worth it in the end.
So who would you say was your greatest influence?
My parents. My parents definitely started here. My mom, my dad, and also I have two fathers, Apostle Dr. Clifford E Turner, who's in glory, and Darry Harris Sr. So all of my parents were major factors. Also my grandparents. I mean, it was a village, so
Wow.
I can't name
It takes
two
a
or
village.
three people. I had
Certainly.
all four of my grandparents until I was 18 years old. So that's a major thing. Just having that support system there.
Yes.
So I would say it was a collective, thing with me.
So Mom, Ms. Turner?
Well, I can say another side to that.
Yes.
My husband actually, Dr. Clifford Turner, came up with the idea for the car dealership. About 15 years ago, we started a car dealership that was doing pretty well. And then we decided to shut it down because of just reasons of resourcing. And then what happened was, on his 21st birthday, and he come to me and decided that he did not think college was for him. He had gone to college and was going to go the normal route. But then he came home after the first year and said, Mom, I don't think college is for me. And then he, that was at 19. And then I said, okay, well, then you need to decide what you're going to do. And he found that he was geared towards business. So he began to start in our restaurant. We were starting our restaurants, Shrimp Max restaurants, and so he began to work at our restaurants and help to do the initial build out, and that went really well. But then when he was 21 years old, and he came to me for his birthday gift and asked me what was I getting him for his birthday. I told him I don't get grown men gifts, that the only grown man I give gifts for is my husband. So I told him I will not give you a gift, but I will make an investment in you. So find a business. And so that's how the car business was birthed for him.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Huh. So what did you think about that, Darry?
Well, it was it was different because I really didn't have too much experience in the car business, even though I watched my parents, they own a car business. And I would go around every now and then, but I wasn't there every day because I was in high school at the
Sure.
time when they had the business. So it was a little bit scary at first, but we in our network, in our church network, we had a car dealer who's been doing it for 20 years. So my parents kind of connected us, and I was able to go to California and stay with him for about 4 or 5 months. So he mentored me for that whole time, and I stayed with him. And I pretty much had to do like a crash course, learning the car business in 5 months.
Yes.
So that really, really helped me out a lot.
So let's talk about mentorship. Can you tell me more about your thoughts on mentorship and the importance of that, especially when it comes to wealth? And we'll start with you, Ms. Turner.
Well, I think mentorship is absolutely necessary, not just with wealth, but with life.
Yes.
Because mentorship is the wisdom without the mistakes.
Yes.
So, and you either learn and grow by either mistakes or by mentors. So I always say choose mentors.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. So are you mentoring anyone at this time?
Yes, I have a couple individuals that are under me that, they call me on a weekly basis and about the things they have going on in life. So yes, I do have a couple of mentees
That is
I'm mentoring.
fantastic.
But-
Just phenomenal.
But I also do have mentors as well. My parents are one of them, and also Ransford Samuda. He's the one who kind of introduced me to the car business. My mentor, who I went out to California with. So he really, really has a big impact on my life. A lot of the mistakes that I avoided was because of him. So in the car business, it can get very, very costly. I mean, you have to have crazy working capital. So if you listen to someone who's been doing it for 20 years, you can avoid those mistakes.
Yeah, I totally agree. What advice would you give young adults that are making all kinds of mistakes, that don't have a mentor? How can they find one?
Well, how do you find one? Well, how I found one was through our ministry. So I would say that you should get connected with some type of with social media nowadays, there's so many people doing so many things. So you can kind of find somebody who's doing what you want to do, inbox them, or if you may know a person who knows that person. So there's so many outlets nowadays where you can connect with somebody who has that experience that you may not have.
Yeah.
So there's no excuses in today's society to not connect with someone who's where you want to be.
Absolutely. And Ms. Turner, who was your mentor?
Oh my goodness. Entrepreneurially,
Yes, either way, to get you to where you are today.
you know what? I would have to say that would be my brother, Anderson Hopson, because he mentored me as a young lady in college to be financially astute. And then he did go on to have his own business because he was working for a major accounting firm.
Okay.
And then I saw him decide to take his life in his own hands and decided to start his own business and duplicate what he was doing for someone else and do it for himself. And he's been doing that for about 30 years now. And so I would say that would be my main financial mentor other than my mother.
Okay.
Okay. So my brother gave me the financial acumen so that when I was just a young girl, when I say young girl, I mean 20s,
Sure.
and was working, he showed me how to set up my life so I wasn't ever struggling. And he showed me how it's very easy to have 6 digits saved in the bank. That was something that I was able to do as a very young lady because of him, as well as the vision for entrepreneurship. But my mom was even more so a mentor from the standpoint of long-term wealth and generational wealth. And you know already that I recently lost my mom this year in April, but because she lived that type of life, she left us all very well off. My mom was a millionaire, although she didn't live extravagantly, but she put those types of ideas and generational wealth in our family.
Awesome.
And we're determined to make sure that it continues.
That is phenomenal. phenomenal. What would you say for people that have no knowledge of generational wealth and how to pass that down to their children? Because so many people try to hide their finances from their kids.
Yeah.
What could you say to that generation?
Which generation are you asking me?
Like the older generation that feel that they don't want their kids to know, it's none of their business. And even for those families that have misused their finances, what would you say to help them to come out of it?
Okay, I think for the first question, you definitely need to tell your kids what's going on. My mom was very open. We had, for the last at least 10 to 20 years, she passed out spreadsheets, of all of her annuities or bonds or stocks. She and my brother, of course, is a CPA, so he was over her estate all that time. But she made it very clear so that there would be no problem, no discussions, no fussing, no fighting once she went on, because she had straightened all of that out. And so I think it's very important that we not avoid that subject matter, because it's not a good subject matter. Of course, we don't want to talk about death and moving on, but we all know it happens. Sure. So I would encourage anybody listening to sit down with your children, to make clear what you want to happen, to have a will and write it out so that it happens according to your wishes. It's very important that you do that. And to those who may have made mistakes, it's never too late. There's a lot of things, especially with a lot of opportunities that are available today. There are wealth opportunities that are unheard of and untold now, particularly with some of the financial industries and investments, that are going on today, like Bitcoin and technology and different things that have made almost overnight millionaires. So we don't want to get stuck on, all of the mistakes. I would just say now is the time to just face where you are, read books that'll help you to get the knowledge, connect with mentors, connect with those who have financial acumen, and really be prepared to sit down and learn and pay the price for you to learn what you need to learn, and you can get there, and don't be discouraged about that.
Absolutely. Ms. Turner, Darry Harris, thank you so much for being with us today in this segment of Generational Wealth, the next generation for people of color. Thank you again.